Okay, I think that should be better. Let me call my people. Let me see if my live working. Let me invite my mans, Ronnie. Okay, how the live look? How the live look? Okay, I had to switch phones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I had to switch to the iPhone, I guess, man. Oh Lord, team,
Oh
how are
yeah,
you?
I see.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So we live. Yes, indeed. First off, thanks for joining us, man. Greatly appreciate you. In case you guys don't know who this is, I don't. If you under a rock or something like that, then I guess the only way you would know who I have right here in front of me, man. First of all, it's an honor, it's a pleasure to be speaking to what I call Chicago royalty. Um, man, in the '90s. Man, this man was a rock star in the Chicagoland area, Hall of Famer, needs no introduction, MVP, the CBA, and countless accolades. Mr. Ronnie Fields, man, thank you so much for joining us, man. We greatly appreciate you.
Oh
Um, Man, first off, man, I interrupted your practice, man, so I just want to say thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you was busy
man, it's
with
okay.
practice, right? So,
No
but
problem, man.
yeah, man. So I'm gonna tell a quick story, and then I'm gonna go right into it. I know you limited on time, so like I said, I appreciate you.
Oh, no
So,
problem, bro.
and I think I might have even shared this story with you, but I ain't tell a lot of people this. So this one I knew. So guys that know me, I played a little bit, went overseas, had did the college thing, and I did okay in my career, but. I knew I wasn't going to the league kind of early in my head, truthfully, because I missed my own game to go watch you and KG play. Like I like, man, coach was like, Ruben, where were you, man? You missed the important game. It was a summer league game. So I was like, man, but in that game, y'all had, and I counted because I'm silly like that. Y'all had 22 dunks in that game
Yeah, that sounds
between
about
you,
right.
KG, and the other parties of your team, man. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, man. I say, look, man, those days, and it's crazy. Like now, you don't know, you know, which way how things in the future would turn out when you're that young. You don't
Right.
know your path or the road you're gonna take. For so many different things that you may face. And for me, like playing at the time, what was just everywhere you played back then outside, someone was running a tournament or
Yeah.
playing outside. So
Uh,
that's all we
yeah.
knew back then. A lot of kids chose to do other things, but for me, my love was playing baseball first and then basketball. But when
Right.
when I really started taking it serious, I think was I got to sixth, seventh grade when I realized I could dunk from the free throw line. I'm like, oh, I might, you know, I'm going there watching Dominique Wilkins and Clyde and MJ and all these guys. So then I just started going to playground trying all these different things that most people thought I just would do in the game. But I was already doing it in the playground. So I was
That's great.
confident when the game started. So when
Right.
I played in high school, people think I just do that at the blink. No, I practice those things.
Wow, that's impressive, man. Hey, so I want to ask just a couple of questions, man, because I will ramble and have you here all night. So I'm gonna get you out of here, man. So can you share a moment from like your playing career that kind of sticks with you to this day? It could be from high school or your professional career or anything.
Well, man, I tell people this. Um, when back then, when it was like the best of the best, and I
Yeah,
think the Nike account when I first was invited there to be able to have a teammate, you know, Allen Iverson, but also
yeah,
that's that's the crazy part is where I first met Kevin, KG.
wow,
So those experiences and playing along some of the guys in my class that year to hear from about a lot of the players from my good friend Bibby and Corey Benjamin and Steven Jackson,
yeah,
Tim Thomas, Jermaine O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. My boy Shaheem Holloway that's coaching out there as well. It was so many guys at the time. I mean, you had to get out of it. You had to be mentioned at that level and one of the top players.
Right.
You had to be doing work. So those memories, man, of getting a chance to play early on in the pro-am against a lot of pros. At the time, I think, it was to go out there and do what I did. A lot of people just was like, that's not normal. But
Right.
for me, I used to actually get out there and play with grown men for like 5 minutes. They like, get your little butt off the court. I say, look, man, I remember the first time they put me out there, dude blocked my shot so hard, the shit went in the parking lot. So I started laughing. He looked at me
Yeah.
and said, what you laughing for? I said, man, that was nice. He, and for me, it was just experience of being out there. That's when I knew I loved to play.
So let me ask you this one. So what was your approach to like training? Cause to me, I know this has to be some version of a gift from God to have your athletic ability. But did you work on it, or like how did you get
No, it
that?
was so crazy. This is like, I never forget this when I first kept trying. I think we was in school, like how you got your gym class in
Right.
7th grade. And the gym class, they letting us play ball on that particular day. So other people doing other stuff. I'm the only one on the other end that's still trying to dunk this ball. So after the 50th try, so now class letting out, we all got to leave. So Mr. Fry, the gym coach, is like, Ronnie, give me the ball. I say, one more time, one more time. So he's like, all right, put the ball in the office and then you got to go. So everybody left. I end up dunking the ball, right? So now I'm excited. Get out there, tell some of the other boys. They thought, of course, they said, stop
Right.
lying.
Right.
So now, season kick in. I'll never forget it was at BBR. I get on a fast break. I dunked the ball so hard and I took off. The referee called a technical foul, and my teammates, mouth was wide open.
Right.
And then I said, I told y'all I dunked. And from that standpoint, we got a rim that was at Mason where I went to school,
Yeah.
damn near 11 and a half feet high. So after a while, I knew I could do on the 10 feet, but the following year, I was able to dunk on damn near 11, 12-foot rims.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
A lot
That
of
is insane.
running the stairs, a lot of leg
Yeah.
presses, but a lot of the biggest thing, God-given ability.
Absolutely. So coming up, I gotta ask, man, who was like maybe one or two or three of your toughest like opponents that you faced?
Oh man, in the Red West where we played, and KG can speak to this.
Yeah.
Our conference, man, was hell. That was like Piston, Bulls, like
Right.
Bubba, you get foul, knocked out, all that. So for me, I was seeing double teams, triple teams every night. In my senior year, it was worse, and I still was averaging 35.
Right.
And that was without shooting a lot of free throws.
Yeah.
When you guys can literally bump you, grab you, hand check you, all kinds of stuff. So like playing against like Westinghouse and Marshall and
Yeah.
Collins, those teams was always tough. Um, but in terms of like for me, for the most part, it had to be a duel of two or three people at one time. It wasn't no one person
Right.
that I can like call out that was just a hell.
Right.
I was on the team with a lot of great players.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of hard.
So what would you say like so that was, back then and now that you in the coaching realm, what would you say has the game evolved from now and then, or what would you say about that?
I say this, and I say this every day. Back then, you had the mental toughness because you had no choice when you went out there and played,
Right.
and you had the skill, but you didn't have all the access that what's sports science and the way things now with the trainers and all the things they have now.
Yeah.
I would say this: the skill set nowadays is more advanced, but the
Right.
mentality approach to the game is nowhere near the same.
I agree. I,
And that's the difference between, back then and now. Yes, highly skilled guys. But when you look at guys that went to compete and win, look at the guys that won won the championships in the era,
Yeah.
even now, had a mentality, and the mentality go back to back and win. And I think it's very few of those guys. That's like KD is an amazing player. I love him.
Right.
One of my most favorite, one of the best scorers I ever seen. And Mike, he's the best player. But you'll look and say, all right, why can he lead a team himself, great as he is, with some of the greatest players that he played with? So
Right.
it's like that comes down to like it's the difference between winning the regular season and winning when it counts the most. When you have to carry the load.
Right. Big facts.
That's the difference that I see how I determine when you start comparing people saying, all right, guys wasn't as this and that, but guess what? Guys was mentally tough and was aggressive and physical that they can stay in the game regardless of how skilled you are. Your skill can diminish, but mentally could you still hang in there?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you this. So the game of basketball, like it can obviously it can be, individual, but really it's a team sport and chemistry is very, very important. So as it pertains to even when you play or even now what you telling your players, how important is chemistry in the game of basketball?
Well, one thing people used to always teach chemistry on offense because you want to have that unselfish but understanding and other players around in those moments, which where you put the ball in the player's hand that improving they can handle those moments when they need to be. But in the scheme of things, yes, you want to teach kids to how to play team ball, but it also come a point as other coaches on the other side where you got to have those players that you trust in and put the ball in their hands because you know they can bring you through in those moments. Because every night you can play team ball that you want, but sometimes it's gonna
Yeah.
come down to some player making plays.
Right. Absolutely. And that's like almost a perfect segue into my next question of like, you are one of the great ones. And I would say, I'm one of the average ones or whatever. So what is the real like separation between like the average, the good, and then the great? Like what do you feel like that one thing is that really separates people?
The mentality. It's like when you play in this game and you to be considered um to be one of the great players, whether you're in high school, you're college, you're in pros, your mentality, like, because you can see the skill level, kids train, professional trainers, all that every day.
Yeah.
But a lot of them don't have that mental toughness when it goes bad.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And that's what, for me, where even going up against, guys at double teams or seeing this one night when, like, all right, man, you got your ass whooped. How you turn around the next game, you going to still be thinking about that? Or you going to get ready for game two?
Right.
So that's, how it is, and how you be consistent mentally when you say, like I tell people, a game with Kobe when he won his fifth ring. And in that game they won, he didn't have a great shoot night, right? But he
Yep.
had 19 rebounds.
Right. Facts.
You see what I'm saying? That type of stuff, that's a will. That's a will to want to win at all costs. A lot of people ain't thinking like that. Guys missing because they big toe hurt, they broke a fingernail, all kinds of
Right.
stuff. You know,
So let me ask you this, because somebody just commented, who was that? Destiny Pitts. He said, how important is body language when you playing?
oh, for me, it's very important, and it's very important to colleges. It's very important to pros, because if I look at you and I see, all right, yes, I want you to have emotion that, man, you don't like that you made a turnover or, you missed opportunity, but also in that, what I want to see with that is determination that you ran back on D, that
Right.
you made a play on the next one. That different. I want to see that type of body language. If I see the body language you miss, not get back, not rotate, then miss assignments, then point fingers, then this sport ain't for you.
Yeah. Nah, I definitely agree with that, man. I want to transition a little bit, man. Coach Wolf. Man, talk to me about Coach Wolf on how he made an impact in your life on and off the court.
Well, for Wolf at the time when I thought, like, you go to high school, you're gonna play on the freshman or sophomore team. That's how I looked at it. But
Right.
Wolf got me early when I was 7th, 8th grade, and he had me playing with his ninth graders, 10th grade, and high school guys. So he kept me around that environment every time so I could get used to it. And once I did, with him continuing to be around him, it helped me just focus on playing and all the other stuff that was going around in the neighborhood. He kept the focus and kept me away from that.
Yeah.
And then my other coach, Ron Ashford. So those guys played huge roles in my life of keeping me focused on that instead of getting caught up in the streets.
Absolutely, man. Major impact. Man, I went over Coach Wolf house because Coach Tree, he used to hang around Coach Wolf all the time and train us. So I went to his house. He had that picture right there on the top. This is old school when you used to have a TV and you put it in
Yeah,
in a little cover. But on top of that, he had the picture of you dunking over Sergio. So I want to quickly talk about that. When
yeah,
you
man.
took off, did you knew what you did when you jumped over him? Like, was you
Oh,
excited? Like, how
oh.
did you feel?
If you see if you watch when I dunk on a guy, I don't never be excited.
Right.
So what happened was I seen, and that was see, I tell people about that team, and I love Sergio,
Yeah.
but everybody bring that up. I'm sorry, people making hoodies. Paul Pierce just had the hoodie on.
Yeah, he did. He had
That's
the
like, man, I look at it like this. I think when that I seen him. The crazy part about it, when you run the wing, it was like I seen Jordan do one, but he did a
right.
reverse. But when you seeing the guy coming, I say, look, man, this either finna be an offensive foul or I'm out to clear him. That's
Yeah.
all. Because I'm seeing he's setting up perfect in the right rotation that you teach.
Yes.
He did
Yep.
everything right. And that's when I just like,
He just
once I
went to
got
that
close,
upper room.
yeah, I just had to go up. I was like, man,
So,
look, somebody talking about why do they boy Surge? Listen, I love Surge, and I ain't
right.
listen. I mean that and Surge. I tell people that I I've seen a lot of basketball, but like
Yeah.
hearing what Preston used to do in the days
Oh yeah.
and watching
Yeah.
and watching Peoria Manual,
Yep.
that was one of
And,
the first teams where I seen 5, 6 guards on the fucking
yep.
team that can pass, dribble, cut, shoot, all of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. They was not. And Frank Williams was he was a monster.
Yeah, and that
And
and
they
that's why I said, and that's why I said they breeded some hell of a players, man. Shout out to Peoria Manual, but yeah, for me, man, that stuck in it, and I got others. I jumped over dudes bigger,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I
So
seen
I
you
don't
do
know
some
why they
amazing
always
stuff.
keep talking about Surge. I guess because it was a poster.
And well, it was on the platform too. You know what I'm saying? It was where it happened. You know what I'm saying? It was more eyes on that game. You know what I'm saying? But any game you went to of yours, you
And
gonna
I
see something spectacular. You know what I'm saying? So,
thanks, bro.
man. So look. All right. So big ticket. Let's talk KG for a hot second, man. Because like I've had a ton of teammates. High school, college. And a lot of us are still cool to this day, but some of us we really ain't, click like that. But how did you and KG instantly just gel like that
This is what
to have that
I
relationship?
tell young ballers today: opening up your team that you've been at to
Yeah,
another great player like
right,
KG, that means you want to win. It's not
right,
about you no more. And for me, I ain't had no problem. Like shit, oh man, let's have some fun. So it was easy for us to win. When if it
yeah,
was me saying no, man, hell no, and you bring turmoil and jealousy into it, you never do it. It was
yeah,
like boom, boom, you come on in, you the big dog. You know,
yeah.
you're in front of me, and we lead together, and that's what made us so great together. It wasn't
It,
no
wa-
jealousy. It was just, hey man, let's go out and have fun.
it was a sight to see, man. Like I said, man, I missed my own game to see it, so I already know what time it was,
Man,
man.
I'm
So.
sorry.
Hey, it was well worth it. Me seeing them 22 dunks, it inspired me to go work on my game after that. I came back better. You know what I'm saying? So, So look, I got a question. I want to ask you this. So everybody in the basketball world, especially in Chicago, you know, they they basically, loved and reveled about your athletic ability. How much confidence did you have when you stepped on the court? And were you ever nervous like before a game? Ever?
Oh man, that's what people don't realize, man. Even with great players, you don't want to call it much of a nervous, more of as an anxiousness. It was like anxious and nervous, and people don't
Okay.
realize that. So for me, I never really talk. I don't talk trash on the court.
Oh yeah.
Never did. I heard some of the crazy shit said to me in the game, and it's like for me, I get mentally in a place of like it's let's get it on. But I'm saying it to myself. So like down when the game goes, and it's like I have that nervous anxiousness in me.
Right.
Um, and then you know, after once the ball thrown up, that shit gone.
Right.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah,
It's over. It's like
yeah. Somebody said, man, you was a dog. Yeah, you was the original dog. Yeah, for sure. But so one more thing about that. So when we in high school, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the things you don't want to happen, you want to win the game, but you just don't want to get dunked on, right?
embarrassed. Oh
And
man.
people like, they kind of fear getting dunked on. See, honestly, I ain't really care, too much, but it is what it is. But like, could you sense like the fear in some people when you were taking off and then moving out of the way? Like, I know you had
Oh
to have a
yeah.
sense of that, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I seen a lot of dudes just run out of the way. They like, look, I'm not even trying it. I seen that level like, hell no, you ain't finna have me on a poster.
Right.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
like
it
like
was,
you said, they ain't want to be on that t-shirt.
or that the Paul Pierce hoodie.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now I want to transition a little bit, man. Chicago Hope Academy, man. Year one, you nearly, what I'm saying, win state. That gotta be impressive. So I gotta ask you, are you number one, are you satisfied with that? You happy about that? And what do you have for the future with Chicago Hope?
Well, for me, man, I think that I coached a lot of travel with kids that's solid players that just want a chance to enhance their ability on a high school scene.
Yep.
So most of the time, people say, "Well, what AAU don't translate to high school in those settings." Well, for me, I keep it simple, aggressive, but effective. On what I do is I empower those kids to all I ask for is them to play hard, and I give them the answers to the test in the game to put them in the best situation and trust them even through mistakes. Just keep playing for me. I will correct those, and that's basically all I did.
Nice. No, that's awesome, man. Well, man, that's a big feat, especially in year one, man. And I could just tell from I watched a little bit that they are getting inspired by you, man. And the stuff you say in the huddles, man, it's so you kind of cool with it though. You don't really be going off like crazy like I would
I
think.
get on. Look, I get on them sometimes, but
Yeah,
I'm like, but then, for the most part, I try to just let them be them. Even though when I was grew up coaching, it was like, get out of it. Coaches be hard. But for me, what I did is this generation is different. So meeting them halfway, but just telling them to work with me and trust me, I'm gonna put them in the right position. That was the biggest thing. It's almost like a negotiation nowadays.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's why we was able to accomplish what we did.
Yeah, I already know, man. It's you on your way, man. So, well, number one, man, I thank you for trusting the Big Time Ballin brand. For those of you who are watching and who watch this later, Ronnie teamed up with Big Time Ballin brand to host two travel tournaments, April 13th and 14th, and then May 4th and 5th. These events they will for sure sell out. We already got registration pumping. So, quick question on that. as far as this is the question I wanted to ask you before that. Actually, what's the difference between coaching like the high school ball and then coaching on the AAU circuit? What do you think the biggest difference is?
Because in high school ball, for the most part, majority of the schools, you don't really have a lot of kids out there that's like almost not all, semi like all star team where you
Right.
can be like, oh, I got a backup point and a start point. Oh, I got a backup two and a start. I got scores everywhere, right? In high school, you're gonna have that. You're gonna have some football players on the team. You're gonna
Yeah.
have some baseball players, and then some teams you have basketball players. So there, your scoring prowess is very limited if you're not a good developer of skill
Right.
and allowing those skills to shine. Um, so that's the difference with AAU. You're gonna have more scores, more players that can do more things than you do in high school. So you really got to coach in high school and find so many different things to give
Yeah.
your team advantage. Because it's like you're not gonna have all those backup good players like that you have in AAU.
Absolutely. And then somebody said, man, they very, very proud of you and your accomplishments. And then somebody else just said, man, that you played in the era where attacking the basket was the priority. And they asked, and how do you deal with this era where they, just like jacking up threes as far as coaching and stuff like that?
Well, if you look at it, even though they do that during the um during the regular season, and yes, and there's more emphasis on a lot of shooting. But you look when it counts the most in the playoff,
Yeah.
where it's 3, 4 levels scoring. It's few teams that have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, those like 3, 4 level scores. Um, Jokic, the point guard for Denver, Murray.
Yep.
So you see, even though they shoot threes, but in the playoff, even with Phoenix, 3, 4 level scores, you're gonna always need that to win championships. It ain't just gonna be threes. Like
Yeah.
when people gotta understand this, when Golden State won it, it caught a lot of people by
Yeah.
surprise because you had two dudes that you couldn't even sniff, leave they ass for 1 second in the ball movement, in the way they shot the ball. But you, the coach empowered the freedom for them to do that.
Yeah.
Then you see people caught on to it, and Golden State knew it. That's why they got a guy like KD who can score when you take away our shooting.
Yeah. That's facts. Big facts.
And even if you watch when KD left, look what Andrew Wiggins did. He scored when they needed it when those guys wasn't going. So you're going to always still need mid range guys who can get to the basket, get to the free throw line. That's going to always stay the same. And I wish more kids focus on 3, 4 level scoring nowadays. That's what I teach.
Yeah, that is very important. And then another thing is when a kid is what they call soft or finesse or whatever, man, I really feel like people always say you can't teach toughness. I
Yes,
disagree.
you
Uh
can. Yes, you can, because I've done it.
yes.
I done it for years for kids that you wouldn't even think would want to do it.
Yep.
It's a sense of mental empowerment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And for me, I'm a defensive guy first, and you do that
Yep.
offensively, I'll let you get away with your mistakes.
Yep, that's what Destiny just said. They need to teach defense. I got a question for you from my guy Style Geek. He said, "Do you feel that AAU focuses more on winning as opposed to helping the players learn the game? Because we got these nice trophies. I can't grab it right now. Actually, I'm gonna grab it while you give
I
your
think
answer.
I
But
think
go
this
ahead.
what's happened to AAU ball is it less about understanding your own talent and developing getting better, and it's more about how you stack teams to go win for a coach to follow or travel more so than saying, look, how do I separate myself and get my game greater
Right.
than these guys I'm with?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because
See, that's the biggest thing. It's like nowhere in hell that when I play, man, look, hell no, I want to go play over there with them.
right. Exactly. Yep. Because
You know,
that's.
no,
Go ahead. Go
hell
ahead.
no. That didn't build me to be mentally tough to where I am. I had to learn when I played, and if we got beat by West House, look, I want them again. Or we
Right.
got beat by Whitney Young, I want them again. I want another shot. Not damn man, I want to, get more players and stack. No, for me, it was so crazy. Even when Kevin came and after he left, the number one thing I heard when Kevin left his senior, man, you ain't gonna be good. Y'all ain't gonna be good. Boom, boom, boom. Guess what? We still went 11-1 and won the toughest conference, and I still was the top player in the country.
Exactly. That's big facts, man. So, and a lot of people don't even realize that, like, as far as the ranking and the trajectory that you was
Yeah.
on, man, you was
Yeah.
above Kobe,
And people
above
don't realize,
AI.
yeah, because Kobe, they even talk about it now. He even talked about it. Kobe shot up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
You know, Kobe shot up out of nowhere with us, me, Steven Jackson, Bibby, Jermaine O'Neal, Tim Thomas, Shaheem,
yeah,
Corey Benjamin. It was like, and then like I say, he shot up out of nowhere.
yeah. It was crazy, but so back to this real quick. So yeah, these the trophies that we give out, and like I said, Sal Geek asked that question. It's like this, what the coaches be focused on. They want to like hold up the trophies as opposed to like teaching the game. But I wanted to ask you because I said we do have events together. What is your goal? Of with hosting events, and then where do you want to take it, like in the future?
Well, for me, the biggest thing for a lot of kids that join it is to speak on just AAU, just in where these kids want to go in their future of the mental focus it takes to play this game, to get to the next level they need to. It ain't just gonna be all they skill. A lot of kids now you see got skill everywhere.
Yeah,
It's how you separate yourself when a coach see a guy, you 6'6", he's 6'6".
right.
He can do what you can do. But what's gonna separate you two?
Yep.
Those type of things are very important nowadays to get kids to want to compete. And it's more than just compete on the floor to be better than the next person, but also in life to be great and achieve something. So
Absolutely.
going through those things on the floor also teaches you about life. If you're in life and you figure you want it this way all the time and it's gonna come easy, then you ain't gonna be ready for real life because it's not gonna happen that way.
So I gotta ask this question. Um, Totally off script and everything, but to be able to have your stature, your the presence, right, of who you are just as a person, even still to this day, man, like when you first you had first hit me up to join the tournament. I know don't nobody know this, man. I fanned out, man. I ain't gonna even front. I'm telling the whole world. Man, I found out he had given me a call. He's like, yeah, man, this Coach Ronnie, I want to join the tournament. I was like, yeah, cool, cool. I was like, Coach, yeah, I'll set it up for you, man. What's your last name? He was like, yeah, Fields. And I was like, wait, Ronnie Fields on the inside. I was like, ah!
Thanks, bro.
No, man, bro, that's the type of impact you've had
Thank,
on people that haven't even met you. You know what I'm
thank
saying?
you.
Up until that point, I hadn't even met you before. But man, that's awesome, man. But do you feel that like when somebody give you those accolades and as they call it, giving you your flowers now? Do you feel like are you thankful for that, or you feel like yeah, I deserve that, or how do you really feel when
You know
somebody
what I do?
you that?
I look at it as being thankful for just the impact that I'd had, and even through all the ups and downs that I never given into life temptations to fail.
Yeah.
And that's where the mental toughness comes from, on the court, off the court. And I think for me, like now seeing the impact, I step back even with my team. I tell everybody it's about them. When they won, I stepped out of the way a lot to let them celebrate and party.
Yeah.
So that's what was so amazing to see where, as most time people still want to stay and don't know how to handle the limelight if
Right.
it go away. For me, even though it still stayed on me, I still shy, not just stayed away to focus on, hey guys, it's about y'all. This ain't about me.
Right.
You that's the first thing I told them. And I think it's just saying like, look, I had my time. I was thankful for the impact, and now it's you guys' time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, somebody just said, who was that? C-Top said 1995 Coca-Cola shootout
St.
in St.
Louis.
Louis. They
Oh yeah.
said Ronnie Fields was a mythical figure to me.
I remember that. I'll never forget that when the coach came and told he had to send a scout to watch me. And they's like, look, he don't shoot a lot of jump shots, but this one he didn't study. In our conference in the Red West, everything is 94 feet. So they not
Right.
letting you. So you driving past attacking. That's it. So down there at the time when they was like, we want to see could he shoot. So I guess he went back and told his head coach, man, you got to let him shoot. So the guy that ranked all the top players in the come, I think Bob Givens at the time, he was there.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that game. I hit about 5 threes. I had 39. Press conference after the game, and we won. And they asked the coach, well, why you just laid off? He's like, well, my assistant told me he couldn't shoot. So I used to tell people I could shoot, but people used to like try to guard me in my grill. So I just blow past them. So I didn't have to shoot.
Make
But
it
when I
easy.
had to, I remember Manly High School did the same thing. I had 3 points a half and 3 fouls, and we was down 15. My daughter got that article, and they were so happy. This when Kevin was gone. They were talking mad trash. 3 points at half is 8 minute quarters. I had 3 points,
Right.
3 fouls. We down 12. Just, let's just say this. One of the plays when I dunked on one of their guys so hard after we had cut the lead, and they called a timeout, and we ended up cutting the lead. I
Time
walked
up.
past they I walked past their bench. They all looked at me like they seen a ghost. Now remember I had 3 fouls. I ended up with 49 points.
Wow.
46 in the second half, and we still won by 8.
Yeah, that's insane. So that's what I mean. Like, so those are things that players have to realize, like where greatness come from.
Yeah.
Like you have to have that inside of you and able to be able to do something like that. You know, when I scored my little 30, I was like, yeah, man, I killed it. But like, you know what I'm saying? But you got players that have, and I tell my nephew right now, you got to really act like this person is coming to take your food away, take
Yes.
your lunch away. If you
Yes.
don't act like that, then you don't really want it. You got to act like if I don't do this, I can't eat tonight.
Yeah.
The mentality changes.
And I think that's the thing where you try to install in these kids' mind as much as possible, man. And for me, that's what I want to teach these kids: just the mental toughness in life, not just on the court,
Yeah,
but in life. And if I can get that message through to as many kids I coach, teach, or come across, or even listen to me speak, I feel I've done what I needed to do in life.
yeah. So,
So
uh, yeah, man, that's awesome. And all I'm gonna say is this, and man, I'm gonna continue to give you your flowers for what you're doing now, even more so than what you accomplished on the court. Because what you're doing now, you're changing lives, you're saving lives. You know, these kids, they're gonna appreciate you later on in life for everything that you're doing, giving back. And even to the tournament, and this is just being straight transparent. When we linked up to host the tournament, you were like, man, lower the entry fee. Make sure that people can have a weekend pass. Make sure that this, make sure this,
yeah,
man. Rube, I know y'all doing y'all flat screen TV giveaway. Yeah, make sure you do that, man. And in fact, I'll throw another one on there. So you're all about giving back to the community,
yes,
and that's why I respect you even more for what you're doing off the court, even though the on the court accomplishments are tremendous, right?
thank you,
But man, you're a stand up guy. You know what I
thanks,
mean?
man,
And it ain't
thank
a lot of stand up people in this tournament business. They all care about money. You know what I'm saying? They care about the bottom line and stuff
you.
like that. But you don't care about that, man. And that's important to me. And that's why I'm so glad we partnered on these two
Man,
events.
yeah, and that's why I said, man, I try to look at it like, you give in life, and at the end of the day, you want to try to help people in situations just from your heart, and that's what you feel.
Yeah.
Um, And because I've been fortunate to be able to be in a lot of great situations. The Lord always blessed me with opportunities each and every day.
Yeah,
And a lot of people don't get those. And I learned not just here in our country, but I've seen it across the world by traveling to see how people can live so bad and not have anything. So when you're in a situation, you're truly blessed to be in that space in life. And if you can give back, you give back. Whether it don't have to be just money, but just with your words, your wisdom, and all those things that you endured in life. So that's what I try
absolutely.
to do each and every day.
Yep. Well, look, we gonna probably hold you for about another 2 minutes. I know you're super busy, still got practice, but there was one question that came through, and they
Yeah.
said, do you feel, what do you feel like the game has changed? Do you feel like the game has changed physically? I think that was the question.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the game, and it's like this, and it's sad to say that it went more to a business because even though growing up, and I know things change um, in life, but every change ain't always good. And I say that because when we grew up, what we used to watch on TV, what we say, what we don't do with athletes, don't do your go to school, get your education, do your work,
right.
all these things to where we see now more of from the league, from a business standpoint, from a marketing. That's what it's ran. So now we have athletes doing alcohol commercials, gambling commercials. So a lot of stuff has changed. And I
Yeah.
think certain things is like with the youth, they see that and feed off as well, and that's what I don't like where the game is going. I I like the fact of when you have an ultra competitive situation, it also teaches. Yeah, you look. Ain't saying you hate a person, but it's a lot to learn from just when a guy beats you. How mentally do you handle it? Not try to find an easy way to make it easier because
Yeah.
life is not easy.
Absolutely, and that's big facts. Yeah, yeah. That's she said. Yeah, the playgrounds were packed like back in the days,
Yeah.
like outside.
And so it's like for me, I would, I missed a little bit of physicality.
Yeah,
Now I ain't saying clothesline a dude or throw somebody, no, but physical where you seeing how great a guy can score with a guy maybe checking you here and there, you know, taking away certain things physically, seeing how great you can be then, and instead of like now, like I said, AI will average 40, Jordan would average 50. You ain't
yeah,
touching nobody because you can
right.
say, yeah, they more athletic skill, but they don't play defense because they never touched nobody.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, so one question I never asked you this. Who do you feel like? Because when you look at the Chicago landscape, and when I say Chicago, I'm gonna include the suburbs too. But man, you got a lot of great players that came out. Man, do you have like who you consider to be some of your top guys from the shaft, from the
Man,
crib?
look, one thing about our city I love the most is that we breed dogs. We
Yeah,
breed a mentality all
yeah,
over. Even though like Southside have a certain style, but it's still what they have is that toughness. West
yeah,
Side have a style, but what they do still have that toughness. Even with some of our suburban kids, like
yeah.
the one thing you won't find in the history of sports out of Chicago kids is you never gonna punk them.
Nah, no, don't try to take nothing from us, Doc.
No, that just ain't gonna happen. Like you might have some cities, you might have a little bit more talent than certain players, but you're not going to put them in a situation they gonna give in and give up. That's
Nope.
the history of what we're built here, what we trying to keep and instill in these kids that we have coming up today.
Yep. Yeah. Somebody said Proviso East. Yeah. Everybody had dogs. The suburbs, the city, it don't
Yeah.
matter.
So
Catholic school,
you
public
seen
school,
it.
it don't matter.
You seen it. And that's why I said for me, hopefully I can teach those things and give back and a lot of these kids take some of these messages and use them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to make one quick comment on what you said earlier. So my uncle, I had a conversation with my uncle. He told me I messed my career up because I went to play at Robeson when I transferred from Hales instead of going to King, because Sonny Cox, he wanted me to go to King. And I was like, man, I ain't going over there to play with them. I want to play against them. So I joined their conference, and played against them. But that was the mentality. Now, true, I get what he's saying. I could have got some more looks from colleges by being on that team, but
Yeah,
I
you
wanted to play
also could.
against them guys.
You got to look at that. I tell people, you always look at both sides of the coin. You also could have went there and not be in control of your own playing time.
Big facts, because they had a 6'10", another six
Yeah.
eight, another 6'8". Yeah,
So
so
so going to a school where they continue to load players, it's like the same thing with AAU. Go somewhere where you're gonna play and develop and get better.
yep.
So you go over there and you sitting there like, oh, I play on such and such, but you get in when the team blow them out. How I'm a college, I'm gonna want you.
Yeah, you got to earn your scholarship in the layup line, right?
Yeah, it's just like, man, could he actually play? Y'all don't really. So it's a lot to look at from that point. So
Yeah, no,
let me get back here
absolutely.
and practice, man. They
Yes,
probably like,
man.
let's go.
Yeah, no, hey, appreciate you joining us, man. Looking forward to our tour. Hey, mark your calendars, April 13th and 14th and May 4th and 5th. If you don't get your registration in, don't be calling us trying to get in last minute. It's going to
Yeah,
be
guys.
full, so.
Yes, man. It's gonna be a blast, man. I'm looking forward to it. Get a chance to speak with every team that's gonna be there, just about life situation. Talk with some of the coaches, and just share my wisdom with all the kids that's playing in this tournament.
Yes, indeed. Well, man, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule, man. Hey, phew, man, we'll see you soon, man. April right around the corner, man.
Right
So we'll
around
see
the
you
corner,
soon.
brother.
And
Right
May
around the
right after
corner.
that. So,
Yes.
man, always a pleasure, bro. And man, we'll talk again, man. Everybody saying thanks, Ronnie,
Thank
man. Hey,
you,
Chicago
man.
legend right here,
Thanks
baby.
for having me on, boss. And then I will talk with you a little later.
Yup. All
All
right.
right. Well,
Yup. All right, y'all. Yup. I'm gonna end the live, man. Thanks everybody for joining, man. Peace out. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Peace out, everybody.